Can I tell you something? A little secret.
Yep.
Already know my Christmas song. Already know it. Already got it. Got the pitch. Got the idea. Been singing along. Already know it. It's mid-April. It just struck me like a bolt of lightning.
Do you want to give us any
No,
hints?
no, not a single one.
Okay.
Got the name. The name's perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm sure it is, big guy. I'm sure
Just
it
saying.
is.
I already know what I'm doing. Just saying.
Trying to psych me out?
I am. I'm gonna win this year.
I think you won last year, to be honest.
Yes. How are you doing?
How am I doing?
Oh no, that was a big sigh.
I'm about a 6
Oh
out
no.
of 10.
Out of
No,
10?
that's fine. That's good. Honestly, it's good.
That's not good. 6
It
out of
is for
10.
me.
You
That's
should
pretty
be a
good.
9.5 or above every single day. Every moment of every
I've
day should be above 9.5 out of 10.
I've literally never been a 9.5. The
I'm
most
not
that
talking
most I've gotten
aesthetics, I'm
to.
talking about mood.
I'm a
Oh
5
gosh,
now.
he is a 6.
I'm a 5.
Oh, why are you so low?
I'm not low. I'm not low. Just it's just I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? Are you a Boards of Canada guy?
Not really. Have you been listening?
No. Well, it doesn't really. Surely there's someone out there who's as much of a Boards of Canada nut
Stan?
as I am.
Yeah.
Boards of Canada for me, top 3. It's Radiohead, Boards of Canada, and Air.
Is
Anyway,
it?
yeah.
Okay. Brokers doesn't make the cut.
No, it doesn't. Honestly, it doesn't. Anyway, Boards of Canada haven't released an album in 13 years.
Oh
They're,
no.
they're very anonymous, very elusive. There's only a couple of photos of them
Like Banksy.
online. They're a bit Banksy-ish. They're two brothers. They live in like the Scotland Highlands or whatever. Anyway, I don't know if you remember for Tomorrow's Harvest, which was their album from 2013, they started sending out all these cryptic messages for like 6 months, and then people who were tracking it found their way to this like abandoned water park in the desert, and it was all part of the album promo stuff. Anyway, they've just started like sending out videotapes, cryptic videotapes, and there's all this thing. So I was just listening to all that this morning. It's very exciting. Thought we'd never get another BOC album. And
Yeah, did they ever say like we're taking a break, or is it just like they emerged from the mountainside, and you're lucky when it happens, but no one keeps
they've given
track
like
of it?
2 interviews ever.
Really?
Like no one knows who they are. Like I don't even know what they do. Like I don't think they can live off.
So they don't tour or anything.
No. There's like one grainy photo of them playing live back in the 90s, and that's it.
Wow. Okay, that's impressive.
Yeah, it is. Like it just like really creates all this like fan folklore, whatever that word is called.
Yeah.
And anyway, I get right into it. I'm just very excited. And part of the like they sent I think about 17 VHS tapes out to people who have bought from the Warp store or bought something merch or something. So it's all over the world.
Right.
People are receiving those tapes, and people are like trying to put them together because they're not identical. And all these there's like a lot of the imagery, which is very cryptic, is like very religion, like evangelist, and like there's alien kind of stuff. It's like it's not been confirmed that it's them, but it sounds like it's.
Oh, it's not even explicitly from them.
No, it's got their kind of that aesthetic, and they've got all these hexagonal things that have been attributed to, but it's not been confirmed.
And there is something where like it takes a certain amount of marketing clout to get something out there and have it noticed. Like I could put out like a fucking alternate reality game for people to go find a treasure hunt, but no one's going to do it unless it gets pushed to the right press people who see the right images in the right, fan spaces with the right people. Like you can't just indie level do that. It requires someone of a status already to be able to do it. So I think it's not unreasonable to conclude, it's at least someone you've heard of,
No, and Boards of Canada are kind of sitting that they've got like diehard fans, but like kind of a small cultish following almost. Like people know like Olsen, like they know people kind of know like maybe one or two songs, but they play. It's kind of like that Radiohead thing that they open up. They create LLCs and then they just let their fans do all the hype for them.
Yeah.
And like you said, when you get to that level, you can just put out a little breadcrumb and just watch the ants go crazy.
Yeah. I didn't realize 1986, it's 40 years. These guys must be like in their 50s or 60s.
Yeah, they are. I just wonder what they do. I spend a lot of time on the Boards of Canada subreddit, and no one knows what they do. Like maybe they do engineering on the side, but it's just
like musical engineering, or
I guess so.
But buildings.
But then
they just do civil engineering on the side, then quietly put out Scottish electronic music.
Well,
Mike and Marcus apparently.
Mike and Marcus Sanderson.
Mike Sanderson, Marcus Oyoen.
Brothers. Air. One of the guys from Air was a mathematician before he was. Oh. Anyway, this is boring to everyone but me. So
okay. Then welcome to Deep Thought, everybody. This is a podcast in which we talk about boring things, and sometimes we just go along for the ride. Sitting through the internet with me, my friend Michael. Hello. Hair's looking nice today.
And what do we do when we feel like this? What do you think that means?
You've got a therapist, and my name's Nick.
Let's bring it back into the room.
So that's my new dad. And
oh, that's a enjoyable desk fiddle toy, I imagine.
I've honestly told that
we'll call it a fidget toy, not a fiddle toy. I think that's something else.
No, he's fiddled. He's fiddled me.
Oh, where did that come from?
That's a Christmas present from Thomas.
Okay,
it's actually really good. Sometimes you get like, people give you like crap, kind of. They give you crap.
Yeah.
As here, I got you something. And it's just nice to get. It's technically crap, but it's crap that I like.
Yeah. It's like kitsch. Okay, we're down to a 4. Where did that sigh take you?
I'm just bored of myself, dude. Honestly.
Bored of Canada.
Nice.
I was going to ask how you've been, but I feel like we've covered that territory. Do you have things on the agenda for this week?
I've got... I got a little bit of... Nothing with any flesh or substance, though.
I got some follow-up-y bits. I feel like, we had such a big episode last week. We did a lot of talk about heavy Iranian conflict stuff, and, I don't think we need that degree of intensity today. But I do have what I would call a handful of follow-ups. So maybe I'll just start here. We talked for a little bit at the end of that episode about your myths of loud restaurants. And I said that I had an article which I had on my
loud
notes
music
forever.
In restaurants.
Correct, yes. And I had said that I didn't have that link because I got rid of it out of my notes, but I have now found that link, and I thought because we were talking about it, I might just quickly run through this article with what we call maybe a little bit of science news.
It's that time. Time for science news.
That's lovely. So this is an article from the Washington Post that says why restaurants are so loud and what science says we can do about it. An acoustics professor, a food critic, and an audio producer are staring at their devices in a Peruvian restaurant in downtown Washington. What are you getting? Let's see, it's fluctuating. I just got 80. Whoa, it just spiked to 87. These are sound level readings taken from our table, a corner booth overlooking the dining area of Pisco y Nazca. I'm Bishop Sand, an audio producer at the Washington Post, and I'm here with Lily Wang, who runs the acoustics program at the University of Nebraska at Lincoln's. Oh my God, that's such a long, such a long school name that I'm just going to skip. Anyway, the food critic and an audio engineer and an audio producer at the Washington Post. So Sid Seamer, this food critic, eats out 10 times a week for work, and for each review, he notes the sound level readings in decibels. In his 2019 review of this restaurant, Sid Seamer began, "If you've ever wondered how loud a jet engine sounds at takeoff, I can give you an approximation." He was not exaggerating. The sound levels blew away a normal 60 decibel conversation. Quote, "This is the loudest restaurant I've ever reviewed in DC," he tells us as we look over the menu. "Here it was 100 decibels at the bar during happy hour and not much better in the center of the dining room." I start to ask how many of his reviews warn diners that they'll need a raised voice for conversation at the restaurant. He cuts me off before I can finish my question. 70%, he says. "I've run out of adjectives to describe a noisy restaurant." So this is a quite good article. It's actually interactive. It's got a whole bunch of audio clips and samples. It's got a whole bunch of graphs showing how noise, like sound waves, bounce around objects in the environment. I encourage you to click the link in the chapter notes and have a read through it. But I'll just skim through and I'll pick up a few like highlight sentences, which I thought were kind of fun. It's still noisy out there, and Wang and other experts point to mounting evidence that excessive noise is more than a minor inconvenience. Our brains have a tough time sorting through the cacophony in crowded dining rooms, which can influence our behavior. Multiple studies showed that prolonged exposure to noise has physical effects, such as increased anxiety and fatigue. Taken together, these effects can make the restaurant experience more taxing than relaxing for patrons, and they can leave staff drained from a long day, straining to offer service while risking permanent hearing damage. Experts are advocating for standards that would not only alleviate customer complaints, but also protect the health of patrons and staff members. I do think there's an issue with why restaurants have gotten louder, because I think there's been an aesthetic change, Wang says. We want to design a vibe that's either kind of industrial or cool. Alcohol and noise work together in interesting ways. Alcohol blunts our hearing, especially at lower frequencies. This means when I reach the legal limit to drive, my brain will turn down the volume of most sounds I'm hearing in a restaurant. This effect may give a small relief from the music, but will also drown out voices. It also explains why intoxicated individuals talk louder. They don't hear themselves as well as they normally do and speak up to compensate. Strangely, noise also seems to drive more alcohol consumption. French researchers discovered this effect by raising music levels in bars by about 15 decibels and recording the number of drinks served. They're not sure why this happens, but they hypothesize that people drink more because they can't easily talk when the noise increases. Anyway, there's a whole lot of like interesting nuggets here. I encourage you to read it, but I just wanted to flesh up what we were touching on last week, which was an anecdotal feeling of like not liking that experience. But there's a lot of science here to also suggest that it's not good for you.
Yeah, a couple of things on that. I think it's first of all, like sounds in general, I think I'm hypersensitive to sounds, and I think it's an ADHD / autism thing. I think we went to a kind of a cheap Chinese restaurant a couple of months ago with some friends, and they put us upstairs. One of those, it's kind of like the shark fin, whatever. Everyone goes there. It's like BYO, kind of rowdy.
Classic Chinatown, cheap aesthetic, hard walls, plastic tables,
And they put they've got upstairs and a downstairs, and they say, how many people? 4. Go upstairs, and everyone upstairs is white.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. It's just like open racism, which I'm
a big fan of.
I'm okay with.
Yeah.
And I remember last time we went there, it was so like rowdy, and there was not even any music. It was just like chatter and clinking and blah. And I forget what I'm bringing this up. I remember I was there with Elise, who also has ADHD, and she immediately recognized that I wasn't gonna like it up there and move tables. That was a pointless anecdote. The second thing I was gonna say, probably even more pointless, is that the music that I don't know about you, but the music that I listen to, none of it is heavy. Like it is the polar opposite. Like the music that I gravitate to, that I like, even outside or in my headphones, no matter where I am, is just like calming. I wonder what that is.
Well, it's probably a reflection of what you just said, which is that if you have the ADHD brand and your brain, and you are
the brand,
you've actually really you're wearing a t-shirt for it. But if your brain is having to work hard to focus on things, and you enjoy music, that music implicitly is probably not going to be something that heightens or distracts you, right? Like what the pleasure that you're deriving from it is probably from its ability to zen you or to calm you or to not get in the way, right?
Yeah, exactly.
With very rare exceptions, I'm sure. But, you described Boards of Canada and Air. Like they're not like high driving metal, thrash rock. They are... They're a vibe, right? And that's the same kind of music you make, to be honest. But it's interesting.
Yeah, are you the same?
I have some of that for sure. I like to have music on when I'm working, but I can't have music on that I could never listen to Radiohead when I was working because my brain cannot ignore it. I'm listening to it with the full intensity of my attention, which means that I can't do my work properly.
No, it's hard to work with a boner.
Exactly. Great metaphor. But it is... I have become aware that in certain contexts, my brain has to work harder to focus on a conversation. And I think a restaurant or like a loud party or whatever is tough. And I don't mean that I can't hear. Like I've actually had hearing checks. So it's in the processing of it, like the brain processing. And my brain, for whatever reason, just locks into music. If there is music playing, my brain is listening and keeping the beat. It is unable to just let that sit in the background, right?
No.
And the effect of that is even if people are speaking at a normal level, even if I'm in a group of friends who I'm interested in talking to or whatever, if there's some music going on in the background, I'm half attentive because I am listening to it. And it's an area of some frustration sometimes.
No, that's my favorite thing about you. I like that you do that.
To zone out when you're talking.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off me. Do you have this? Do people tell you that? Just back to the chill, like the preference for chill kind of music. Do people tell you, oh, this is like sad music, or this is so depressing when it's not depressing to you at all?
It would have been a while since I've had that conversation, but I definitely had that conversation. I mean, that's the classic Radiohead one, right? It was like, oh, it's so depressing. And it's like, no, what are you talking about? I don't hear that at all.
People tell me that all the time. It pisses me off. Pisses me off.
But would they say that for, like if you're listening to a Boards of Canada, or like, are they literally just meaning it's down tempo?
Yeah, that's what they mean. That's the thing that annoys me.
Just because it's slower, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when Lauren and I first started dating, she asked me what type of music I listened to at the gym, and I showed her my gym playlist, and it was, a Trent Reznor, the Social Network original score, and the Arrival score. I love listening to like scores at the gym, and she almost ran away. But I feel like energy in music, or kind of energy in music comes from within you. It's not external, it's internal for me anyway. So I don't want to be dictated by a song how I should feel. I want like I'll project onto the song. Well, the songs that I like, I'll project onto.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there is intrinsically still a character to a song that will make you feel a certain way. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to get depressed just by listening to something beautiful, you know. I suppose it's a question of taste or musical education or anything like that, you know.
No, I've never been bummed out by a song. I've been brought to tears, but it's all.
Yeah.
Wouldn't call it depressing or sad.
No. Yeah. It's a question of like beauty versus.
Yeah, I feel it. I guess that's
sadness,
the difference. I think some people will really lock in, like you do with music in a I'll say it, a deeper way, and some people just want to listen to
Triple M.
Kings of Leon. Are they still around?
Yeah, I guess. Well, probably not.
Did you see? Have you heard the new Stroke song that they dropped?
No.
It is comically horrendous. Give it a listen. It's a great song. It's called Going Shopping or something. Fuck. It's so bad, dude. Like the auto-tune he's using heavy auto-tune, and I swear to God, it's out of tune.
The auto-tune is out of... It is called Going Shopping. I thought you were making shit up.
I thought I was making it up too. Horrible. Anyway, just while we're on audio, real quick, you know how last week you yelled at me after I sent the file saying that I was too far away from my microphone?
Yeah.
So I went and bought myself a condenser microphone.
I wondered if that was a new
Audio
setup.
Technica.
Yeah.
No, I heard the message. It's kind of, you know how Tom York and those electric ladies. Anyway, you said I was too far. My audio was kind of shitty last week.
Yeah.
So I went and bought a very nice microphone. That. You know, you say
yourself.
Jump.
Yeah.
My boy Nick says jump, and I say, okay, just give me a second, and I need to put my shoes on.
I want to stretch up first,
but I will jump.
I just have a couple other little bits here from this article, which I thought were interesting. So the audio engineer, when they're having this meal, is very conscious about raising her voice in a place like this because she knows most people subconsciously react to a loud environment by raising their voices. But that adds more sound to the room, which causes nearby people to talk over the raised volume, and it's a feedback loop that is so predictable it has a name, the Lombard effect. Any gathering of people will produce the Lombard effect, but restaurants are particularly susceptible because of the confined spaces filled with talkers.
I really respect that she did that because I'm so overly self-conscious about being like talking too loud. Part of it is I don't want people to overhear a conversation, but
because you're often like spelling out passwords, you know, revealing sensitive financial information, insider trading, that kind of stuff. Like you've got other reasons to keep quiet.
Well, a lot of the time I'm trying to like point out to Lauren, you know, trying to whisper, look at the guy over there with, you know, the woman that he's with.
Hair. Yeah.
And she'll go, where is he? You know, where? I can't see him. Shut the fuck up.
Be cool,
Jerry. You know when I send you songs and stuff, and then the next day I take it back.
Yes.
And I'm embarrassed to have ever even sent it to you.
Yes.
That's a common occurrence in our relationship. I think when I send you things, it's when I've been like working on something throughout the day, and then typically I'll work in my office studio thing, and then when Lauren goes to bed, I'll take my computer and my gear outside, and I'll sit outside at the backyard and make notes and stuff. And whenever I'm doing that, I'm just listening to it really loud in my headphones, and there's no one around, and it's a really great vibe. And I think that might be why I have this false sense of confidence to send you stuff, because I'm just sitting out there just looking at the moon and listening to my songs like super loud. Because that's another thing, like you you listening to a song loud, a song that you like, you kind of need to listen to it as loud as like the louder the better, almost. When it's a song that you like.
Yeah, within a within reason. But yeah, I know what you mean. If you're a fan of something, then volume does help you pick out individual pieces of it, where you can be like, oh, I never even heard that synth line in the background, or oh, listen to the way that blah blah blah. If you're listening to it sort of in a shitty earphone at half volume or whatever, you're not going to experience things the same way that listening to like a actual lossless audio file with high quality cans in, with your full attention in the night. It's going to be, that's not even audiophile snobbery at that point. That's just like the reality of how sound works.
The reality of sound. All right, should we move on from this?
Okay, Michael is
Bored
not
of Canada.
patient today.
What else do you got, big fella?
I'm talking about things that we touched on last week. So how about a little bit of mailbag?
Oh no.
You can do it if you want.
Nah, don't.
Okay, well then play the jingle.
Mailbag, it's the weekly mailbag.
Deep thoughts mailbag. Not as good as the Strokes. Okay, this is an article, and by article I mean email, from our friend Sean. It is entitled Returning the Driving Wheel with One Hand. He writes, fucking A, Michael. It's the only way. It's cool as hell, and I'll always do it.
Oh, hell yeah, I got backed up.
You have support.
What was that with regards to? What's the context?
We were talking about the myth of a driver turning the steering wheel with just their palm, single hand. And I said that's unsafe and uncool, and Sean disagrees.
And so did I, right?
Correct. You were
yes,
adamant
I said it was,
that was the coolest
I said
way
it was,
to do it.
And the most sexiest. And also, which makes sense, because Sean is your sexiest friend.
You don't know all my friends.
Don't need to.
Okay.
Don't need to. Well, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Speaking of
your
your friends,
I don't like that as the setup. Yeah.
So I haven't met your friends in New Zealand.
Why is
that? Because I don't want to.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Because I don't want to. No. But I have like a pseudo para relationship with a few of them, which is nice. They seem like nice people. What do they think of me? Do they think I'm like? What do they think of me?
Well, I'm glad that you asked. Guys, do you want to come in? Been waiting for this for a while. Guys, get in here and tell them what you think.
Get in here, you guys.
They're saying their mum said that if they could never say a nice thing, they shouldn't say anything at all. That's awkward. Well, I'll paraphrase. I think they consider you an interesting character with depths and talents.
Correct.
And not someone that they necessarily need to see day to day.
The reason why I was asking this because I imagine they're pretty like woke kind of people, like the types of guys.
Yeah, I make sure to ask before I, hang out with people how woke.
Well, the types of people that, and this is not an insult, but the types of people that wear a mask in their profile picture on social media, still. You know what I mean? With a little rainbow.
With a little
border. Rainbow border.
Oh, rainbow border. Okay.
So I just wonder. Sometimes I wonder what people think of me, like what it might. Because I think my political views are sometimes a bit. People find them a bit grating.
Yeah.
But I think why am I? Who cares? All right. So they think I'm super interesting and handsome and something. What did you say?
Yeah, just remember the stuff you wanted to remember.
Great. Good chat. Good chat.
Okay. That's the end of mailbag.
Lauren's got a theory about something she wanted me to pitch to you. I'm just going to go just...
She's got a theory about something she wants to pitch to me.
Yeah, one sec. Hey, Lauren. Well, it didn't have as much legs as I thought it was, but she had a theory that gay men like superhero movies because of the tights. So I'm not going to bring that up.
I mean, gay men do like looking at strong, muscular men. It's sort of part of the area. But I don't know that that's particularly revelatory.
She specifically said you should ask Nick about this on the podcast. And honestly, just absolute dog shit.
Hey, Michael, how about we perk things some up with... Hey, Michael, how about we perk things some up with some weird news?
That was so funny, dude. You fucked that up.
See, I delivered.
I'm already perked, baby.
Now it's time for some weird news.
Oh, weirdies.
Weirdies. Oh, the weird news jingle.
In the news today from the Strange and Weird Fact File.
Well, for decades, only crackpots and crazy people believed in UFOs.
Deputies
That's what I
say
thought
the
anyway.
suspect told them he's been performing sex acts on animals since the
Tonight I told
1970s.
about my close encounter with the Yeti. Totally true.
A sticky situation at an airport in Tennessee after baggage was sprayed with rust.
Turns out the government has been taking them seriously all along.
This is Deep Thought Weird News with Michael Zuberef Sludge.
Okay, this is in The Guardian. This is an unusual source for weird news, but I think this is weird. And I am excited to read it to you. The headline is, Court of Appeal says it cannot rule on which identical twin fathered a child. One twin wanted to take parental responsibility from the other for child P after both had sex with the child's mother. A woman who had sex with identical twins within 4 days of each other is unable to ensure one of them takes parental responsibility because it is not possible to know which is the father, the Court of Appeal has said. One of the twins was registered as the father on the birth certificate of the child referred to as P. His identical twin, along with the mother, sought to take over parental responsibility by asking the Court of Appeal to overturn a previous family court decision. The judges said that while DNA testing has revealed that either of the twins could be the father, it cannot distinguish between them. So there is a 50% chance of the correct father being already on the birth certificate. He said the twin on the birth register will no longer have parental responsibility until the court hears further arguments. The identities of the child, the twins, and the mother have been protected by the court. Quote, it is possible, indeed likely, that by the time P, the child, reaches maturity, it may be possible for science to identify one father and exclude the other twin. But for the coming time, that cannot be done without very significant cost, and so her, quote, truth is binary and not a single man. The judge had previously found that both brothers had had sex with a woman within 4 days of each other in the month when when the child was conceived, and thus it was equally likely that the brothers was a father. But there we go, Michael. Twins, biologically indistinguishable father to a child.
I think one thing out of that story is for certain, and that is that child is not going to have a good life.
Oh, don't say that.
No. Mother's sleeping around. Can't remember who's who.
Don't slut shame. Jesus Christ.
I'm not slut shaming. I'm whore shaming.
We just display... Michael, what mood is this today? What is this?
It's not very interesting, is it? I feel like I've let the team down on this one. I'm not funny. I'm not zinging. I'm not zanging. What am I doing?
I don't know.
Have you ever thought about doing this podcast by yourself?
All the time.
Yeah, I'd listen to that.
What did you were you out last night? Were you been drinking?
Nope. No,
Yeah.
I was just-
Did you have a bad bagel for breakfast?
No, I didn't have anything. I just had raisin toast.
Oh, that should perk you right up.
What about this Melania press conference the other day? How about that?
I saw the headline and I didn't see anything about
You
it.
didn't see it. You didn't watch it. What the fuck, dude? Like,
I don't try and
Something
avoid
is-
Trump news in my life.
she's come out. She came out on Thursday. Just did a called a press conference, which is the first time she's ever done this at the White House, at the Oval Office. Maybe not the Oval Office. Official White House press conference to say, I was never friends with Jeffrey Epstein's. I sent one email to Ghislaine Maxwell. She just come out and said, what you might be hearing stuff that's fake or AI, and it's not true. I never went on his private plane. Something's coming up, dude.
I
I'm
was going to
telling
say,
you.
is there something that I've missed there where, like, is this in response to something that's come out, or does it seem
Yeah, this is
like
why.
preemptive?
So this is why everyone's kind of perplexed by this, because there's no one's even she wasn't even really the focus at all ever in the Epstein files.
Yeah.
And it's just a very bizarre thing. Like people the theory is that she's front running a scandal, but the scandal hasn't dropped yet. And there's a couple of potential candidates for that. Michael Wolff, who has written a couple of books on Trump, he's apparently got maybe he's got audio because she's suing Michael Wolff for saying that Jeffrey Epstein introduced her to Trump, and so he countersued her, and anyway, something. Mark my words, Nicholas. Something's
Was
happening.
Trump at the Melania press conference?
Well, he said he said to a journalist that he had no idea about it, and honestly, it kind of makes sense that he didn't, because the Epstein. I was watching what's his name, Voidzilla, CoffeeZilla guy, doing a thing. He's showed the Google Trends for people searching Epstein, and over the last month, it's just kind of dropped as the Iran stuff is kind of taken more focus. And now, after this press conference, it's just spiked again.
Yeah, right.
So I can't imagine Trump would have been happy about this at all. But
No. So
I don't know,
what's
it
your
feels like
best
something's-
hypothesis as to what is coming?
So there is a woman. There is a Brazilian woman who Melania was friends with for 20 years, a former model with her. Her husband, this woman's ex-husband is in the Trump cabinet. He's a ambassador to something. He's got some official title in the White House. Anyway, they had a breakup. They had a custody battle after their kid. This guy who's in Trump's cabinet got this woman deported back to ICE, to ICE, and so he could gain custody over this kid. And it's kind of a bullshit fraud charge.
That's horrible. Yeah.
And this woman has gone scorched earth now, saying, like tweeting at Melania, I can't believe you let this happen. You know what I know. I'm not going to protect you and your pedophile husband anymore.
Jeez.
And people think that's. She's got some interviews lined up for Sunday, America time.
Yeah.
And I think a CNN interview on Monday. So people suspect that it's something to do with that.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Oh, well, maybe Trump will have to start another war.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you could argue that he started the Iran war to distract from Epstein, and now that's gone bad. So he's bringing back Epstein to distract from the war.
Oh God, how fucking grim! The thing this past week about him giving this deadline and saying he's going to basically do a genocide and wipe out an entire civilization was so fucking beyond the pale. It was. I genuinely felt unsettled all day, just wondering whether this was going to kick off some shit. But like he's so clearly, literally demented. Like the at least there's been impeachment proceedings. Started to. They put forward the thing. They need the support to make it happen. But
what the fuck does impeachment's gonna nothing? No, impeachment's not gonna do anything.
Well, they're not going to remove him because the Senate is in charge. But like, just the idea that they shouldn't try, I think, is facile. I think you need to do everything in your powers to attempt it, so that you know that you did. Like it just
won't work. I mean, it's better. The corrosiveness within MAGA now is a lot more likely to be his undoing. I mean, he went off on Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson and Candace. Did you see that?
Yeah, Candace Owens.
calling them low IQ people. I mean, and Alex Jones. I mean, they're all turning him against him. I mean,
yeah.
Did you see the terms of the Iran deal that he's accepted and
like $2
spinning as a win?
fee per boat?
I'll read you some of them. Fundamental commitment to non-aggression from the US, controlled passage through the Strait of Hormuz in coordination with the Iranian armed forces, an acceptance of Iran's nuclear enrichment program, the lifting of all primary and secondary sanctions and resolutions against Iran, end of resolutions against Iran at the International Atomic Energy Agency, withdrawal of US combat forces from the region, not just Iran, full compensation for damages suffered by Iran during the war, the release of all Iranian assets, and the ratification.
This hasn't
of all
been
agreed
to though, has it? Or did he?
It's a verbal agreement, which I don't think they
it's not
sign off on these things, but there is literally nothing like. It's literally
Trump
nothing.
hasn't accrued any. Yeah, he's literally gone in, made everything worse, and now paid the consequences. Yeah. I mean, we said it last time as well. Like, if he'd literally just not been in office and the existing Obama deal had been in place, it would have been exponentially better. This wouldn't have happened. But now they have to pay $2 million per ship for everything going through. It's just crazy.
It's crazy. But at least there's no trans people in sports.
Yeah, finally. We've resolved that issue. Oh, hey, I got a little bit of a rec engine that you've teed up for me quite nicely, but I think we should do it after the outro. So if you've enjoyed this episode, thank you so much for participating in an episode of the Deep Fort podcast experience. You can get in contact with us like Sean did by emailing us at deepfort@gmail.com. You can find us on Spotify, where all of our previous episodes live in the past, and they have a handy little comment box underneath for anyone who might want to leave a message. Michael, do we have a comment of the week?
We sure do, Nick. And this week it's drum roll. Just a kick drum. It was Ben Quaid.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Move back again.
Move away. Move over.
We got it on the third one.
Because Ben Quaid is the commenter of the week again. And he said, +1 for Linda Cardellini.
Okay. Ben's horny on Maine. So can you.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you for your support.
That's two of my friends who've backed you up this week. Frankly, disgusting.
Pretty understandable, honestly. Pretty understandable.
You can also find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. You can find other episodes to listen to. You can make sure you have a healthy bagel to start your day and come into a podcast with the right energy.
It's kind of a sign of maturity when people start agreeing with me in their old age, you know?
Okay. Rec engine, grab the keys.
Welcome to Deep Fort's recommendation engine.
Have you ever lost the keys to the rec engine?
I put them on a hook every time I leave, so I always know where they are.
That's smart.
Yeah. And I do have a spare key that I've handed to a friend just in case.
We are on
Hey,
fire.
Maki Boo. We're talking about the Manosphere. We're talking about the Magasphere. Have you watched Louis Theroux's most recent documentary? Mm-hmm. Louis Theroux. No,
Yep.
Theroux. Give me any thoughts on this one. I figured this might be a nice area that you had some opinions on.
It was just a hit piece on some well-intentioned, ambitious entrepreneurs. And I didn't care for it. No, it was good. It was good. I liked it. It was kind of sad. It was a bit just aesthetically not really that important, but I did think because it was on Netflix, it was a bit of a shine on it that I didn't quite care for because
As in glossy?
yeah,
or
but
are you
like
saying it was
metaphorically, I don't know. It's kind of it's not really a serious point, but it was really great. And I love everything that Louis does. I think he has a brilliant way of asking questions that are that push back but aren't necessarily overly confrontational. And I think it was great. Yeah.
That's sort of what I wanted to play around with a little bit here was I'm not a hugely Theroux verbose, but I've seen a bit of his work. And I think the criticism that he does get a bit is that he isn't confrontational. And I don't think I'm looking for him to be like political interview, sitting there with a clipboard. You said on the 13th of July X, and, you know, that's clearly wrong, and here's why that's wrong, and, you know, like in your face. And I think part of a documentarian's tool set is being agreeable or friendly to get into spaces that you would not necessarily get into if you were perceived as going to be hyper-partisan or hyper-aggressive, right?
You mean from a strategy point of view?
From a strategic point of view and from a filmmaking point of view, right? Like, these people are not going to let Rachel Maddow come in and sit down, right?
No.
Just pulling like a random partisan name, right? His role succeeds, A, because basically none of them knew who the fuck he was. Secondly, he's very like meek British, kind of polite.
Yeah.
And I guess for all that I appreciated The Window, you know, because I'm not going to go and watch these people's terrible podcasts or, you know,
They're not that bad.
All the stuff in Florida where they were like bringing in women to confront this like dickhead dude and then be like berated on live stream. I don't know. It just sickens me a bit. But then there's like moments where one of these influencers instigates like a physical assault on someone in the street that gets out of hand, and they're just like there by chance filming as it happens. I feel like in those moments I wanted more from Louis. I felt a little bit like there's only so far that politeness or objectivity gets you. And I did end up wondering if more pressure on some of these subjects after they've established a rapport or a communication, you know, or it's the third time you're meeting or whatever, to actually press on some of these things could have actually got you further. You know, like I thought where it ended underwhelmed me just a little bit.
I think I hear that to a degree. I kind of view his role almost like an anthropologist rather than a journalist, and I guess that's where the two sides were coming down on either side.
I mean, I agree with that. I don't see him necessarily as a journalist. You know, I think when I say documentarian, I'm closer aligning you to like an anthropologist.
Yeah. And I think part of what he does well is it's kind of humanizing people, and he's done this with like the Westboro Baptist Church. He's done it with, you know, Nazis, neo-Nazis. I mean, I think it is. I understand why people say, you know, it's not is kind of platforming or something. I can understand that criticism, but I do think, especially today, getting to kind of understand these kind of manosphere, sexist guys, these Andrew Tate kind of copycat guys, as not just sexist, just over there. Like, people, I think people don't take the time to understand these guys. Understandably so. I mean, they're repulsive, but I like seeing them have. I like seeing them just doing their things or being told off by their mum or. I mean, important.
that's the interesting one, right? Like, what's this guy's name? CJ or what? Something like the DJ.
HS Tiki Toki.
Yeah, HS. He's a real terrible man.
Morally, he's got no morals.
He's got no morals. He's very explicitly, repeatedly says he only does things for likes, for clicks, and for engagement. Yeah. He flirts with anti-Semitism. He flirts with homophobia. But then there's this kind of fascinating contradiction in him where he's only 23. Like, he's this fucking baby of a kid. And when his mum's around, he's really, like, subservient and sort of a bit respectful almost. And then she's clearly disapproving of many of the things that he says, but kind of lets him do it to a degree.
Happy to.
And then, afterwards,
the house and stuff.
Afterwards, when the full stream comes out, you see that they were actually cooking up a plan to be confrontational, and she's actually being more manipulative than she seems, and all of these other things. Like, that angle of it is quite fascinating, but it's just presented, rather than interrogated, if that makes any sense. And I don't know. I just feel like I felt like Louis' conclusions by the end of, the documentary summing up, voiceover at the end was nothing. Like, I didn't feel like.
What was it?
Well, that's the point. It wasn't anything remarkable. It wasn't a clear revelation or takeaway, or he didn't really even sum up what he'd learnt. It just sort of, I mean, he made some conclusions about all of these people have come from backgrounds where their parents were shit, or their dad was shit, or they didn't have these role models, which I think is probably actually stretching quite a long bow. I'm not convinced that that's the core root of all of this MAGA manosphere problem, is like their dads weren't around. But I don't know. I don't know. I wish for a little bit more insight, perhaps.
But what insight would he have? I mean, I don't really understand that, because, I mean, we all know what the. We can see it. What's Louis going to say? He's going to try and give it like a balanced. I don't know. Like, there's nothing he could say. I don't think I don't need him to say anything than that. It's clear as day. I think there was a sadness that linked all of these men. I think they all had daddy issues, and I think it's not daddy issues as the thing that explains all this manosphere, the rise of Andrew Tate and stuff. But I do think, we've touched on it before, we don't have to go into it, but I do think it is a product of men not knowing what their place is in the world, and part of that is kind of this, a little bit of a demonization of men in the last 10.
But the style of masculinity they're describing is revolting. Like, that's not.
But it's an overcompensation for feminism. So it is
for sure
that they think in order to correct what they perceive as an injustice to men, or a displacement of men caused by the rise of feminism, they think the answer to that is not meeting in the middle. It is counteracting it and being a counterweight to what they believe is kind of egregious.
Yeah,
feminism.
like they're describing, you see them expressing these relationship dynamics in which they get to go off and fuck whoever they wanted, and the partner they have at home doesn't. They have these like retrograde 1950s ideals of like the woman stays at home and provides for me. She's in the bedroom. I'm sorry, the house is like this. She hasn't cleaned up for me yet. You know, all this like real just.
Well, it's more than 1950s. It's biblical. I mean, a lot of these guys are religious, and it is what you just described there is through most religions, right?
Yeah.
Mormonism, Christianity, you name it, and they're trying to get back to that. They're going right past the 50s and going straight to BC.
Yeah. I guess that I watched that documentary with fascination, and I agree that the opportunity to hear them say in their own words, their own ideals is interesting. And I agree that getting the shading of like this Manosphere icon who's getting like high fives on the street, who's, you know, like doing pickup lines on random women that he walks past, like women at the, like having a dinner to like a 50-year-old woman having a dinner with their family, like all of these like extra aggro, hyper masculine expressions of, you know, physical musculature and
it's a cartoonish idea of masculinity.
100%. I appreciated that that's shaded with, you know, scenes where this guy is like standing there helplessly as his mum like mops up the floor around him because he's actually just a fucking child who has no idea how to take care of himself. I appreciated all that. I guess maybe it's naive to have wanted this, but I felt like as a pure observational thing, without anthropological study or, you know, governmental insights or like education discussion, like I felt like I just missed something. I guess I missed it, like a treatment plan, if you like,
for you,
for society, for this cancerous growth. You know, like, okay, I understand more of it, but what do we now? What, you know, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We just disagree, I guess, but like that's
I don't think we disagree. Just it's the extent to which we enjoyed the thing.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like these. This is clunky analogy, but it's kind of like seeing, you know, Trump on Joe Rogan for 3.5 hours, and you don't learn anything new, but from what he says, but you get like a sense of him, and I feel like feeling like I understand those people more, and even if a part of that is pity, or it's, you know, I think I can see a pattern here. I think to me that's valuable, and I mean I don't like being told what to think, so I think if the message was kind of rammed down, you know, the viewers' throats in this thing, I think I would have tuned out a little bit. I think they're hanging themselves, these guys. I mean, it's obvious.
So you think that this is on the way out? You're not worried about it? You don't feel like there is impetus on us to address it or to change our behavior or change societal dynamics? You know, you just think of it as like, oh, isn't it interesting that Furbies are popular for a while, and give it 5 years and Furbies, you know, will not be interesting anymore?
No, well, no. I think no. Of course, I think we need to do something about it, but I don't think it's the popular or the ways that we are going about it right now to treat this cancer, as you say. I don't think it's those. I don't think it's. I think we need the root cause. If we were going to try to address the cancer in the society, we need to address the root cause, and I don't think society is ready to do that.
And what do you think the root cause is?
I think it has something to do with the way that we talk about men or view men or young men especially. I think I don't have an answer, but I think it has something to do with that.
Yeah, I mean that's yeah. The problem with men is got something to do with men. Is hard to reject.
Well, specifically the demonization of men, and that's a stronger word than I would like, but I can't think of another one.
Yeah,
but there is
I mean,
a certain
part of what
level
we saw in this documentary is that people's behavior was not actually based on a real belief, right? Like you have this HS guy who's saying, "Oh, I don't believe this stuff. I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm just going to repeat the thing because it gets the clicks," right? So part of it for me is taking a look at that documentary is saying like, "Oh, one of the real problems here is that there's this incentivized, social media platform or financial model where all these people are grifters selling, stocks and
Sure.
and financial advice." And they're hucksters, like they're snake oil salesmen.
Sure. But I agree, like social media has a big role to play in this, but the hucksters are taking advantage on the same feeling. They're exploiting the same feeling. That's why they are making millions of dollars from selling snake oil to young men who are lost. And that's why I think men fundamentally, I think in a primal level, we all know that we're not really necessary. And that's becoming truer and truer by the year. And I think, back in, biblical times, men needed to provide and hunt or whatever, and now we don't need to do any of those things. And I think part of it is men trying to that's where I have sympathy for these guys and pity, because it's like they're really lost. They're really trying to be purposeful in the world, and that they've just misshot.
I genuinely have never felt less understanding than in that sentence. I'm not even, it's not a criticism, but the idea that men don't know what their purpose in the world is just something I cannot connect to in any way. I just don't understand what that sentiment comes from or what it means. And the only way I can interpret it is the idea that they had this archetype in their mind where they had to be a provider or some sort of like hunter-gatherer type leader, and that the removal of that dynamic in society has left them without a point. But I just can't. It doesn't register with me in a way that I can understand, because none of our lives have any purpose whatsoever. There's nothing that is preordained. There is no, dynamic that we need to fit. I can't understand the absence of that, because I can't accept the premise.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense.
I agree that nothing matters, but there is a social. We are social primates, and there is something subconsciously going on inside all of us where, we want to, I don't know, affect the world even on some level.
Yeah, but is that different to what a woman feels? Is that different to what it used to be? Like, I just don't understand I'm not excusing this.
I know. That's men. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I want to sound like I'm on these guys' team, but I'm just trying to kind of analyze this a little bit. I mean, it's the Jordan Peterson kind of thing of it all. It's the take responsibility for your own actions, pull your socks up, make your bed. It's all wrapped up into this same kind of thing, and then the mutations of that are really harmful.
I agree. It's just the idea that a man might suddenly feel like they have lost purpose, or that they're not, like you said, men aren't necessary anymore. And I just don't understand what that means. Why are they not necessary? What are they feeling like they have been replaced as, or replaced with?
Well, then increasingly less necessary to make new life.
Not really.
Women-
What do you mean increasingly less? Sometimes lesbians can have donor sperm or turn a X chromosome into a Y chromosome. Like, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about, sperm. Men aren't needed to gestate, to raise the baby at the crucial stages of life. They need, clearly they need to be around so they don't, a male figure especially for young men, so they don't turn out to be HS ticky giggly, whatever it is.
Ticky docky, yeah.
This is not necessarily a rational thing that I'm explaining here. It's kind of almost like metaphorical. I'm doing a really good job of explaining this.
I mean, the only way that I can interpret that sense of they're not needed anymore is purely from the rise of feminism, in the sense of female agency. Now women can have jobs, women can have money and be self-sufficient, women can take jobs that men used to have, and that means that they're less reliant on men and less tolerant of male bullshit, right?
Yes.
And where historically there used to be unlimited male bullshit because women had no physical power over them and no financial independence, and they were simply to be in the home and raise the children and, bear the babies, 1 in 3 of whom would probably die in childbirth. So you'd have to have 6 if you wanted to have any chance of them surviving. Like child mortality would be also killing mothers all the time. Like there was this incredible imbalance in society. And now merely the idea that the female populace could be at the level of the male populace in terms of, striving for the same opportunities that they have, is seen as a detraction from what men could be.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, that's the absurdity of it. But I think it's like this. It's sometimes biology. Sometimes we maybe evolve with. Now we have consciousness. We might be kind of evolving kind of mentally faster than our biology is, and I think maybe it's a little bit of they're fighting their own kind of biology.
Yeah.
In a sense, like emotional biology. I don't know.
Well, I think it's probably true that men have not historically been granted the latitude to feel feelings, to know how to deal with being sad. You boys don't cry. This was not an education that young boys got, about the diversity of like human experience they were allowed to have, right? So like a lot of these behaviors, I think, come about because people don't know how to feel their feelings, and they're expressing them in these. It's just you happen to be in front of me, but people don't know how to healthily express what they're, or even like have the self-reflection to know what it is that they're feeling and how to express it. So, again, a lot of it I think is, yes, we're talking about having stable homes, and I would not necessarily go so far as to say that you needed a man as the presence there. We've seen from studies that kids raised by lesbian couples are as good, or if not better off than others. What really matters is stability, and that can be of any role model, of any family archetype that you need, so long as they feel supported and stable.
Well, hold on. I think it is important. I mean, when you're young, you're developing your ideas of who men and women are, and it is. Like the preference would be to have a male and a female, considering all like stability equal across the board. I mean, just from a kind of a development point of view, we could say that, right?
I understand. No, I don't think we can. Actually, the science says it doesn't really matter. I understand that there's like a historical expectation of that, and I think the idea that, you know, to learn how to be a man, you need to be taught by a man. But I just think that's actually not held out by any data. And of course, it's not necessarily the case that just because you have two mums or two dads or whatever doesn't mean there aren't men or women in your life that can be that. You can have the uncle, you can have the teacher, you can have the friend's dad or whatever it is to model yourself on or learn from as well. But just based on like the studies that have been done on same-sex couples over many years, it doesn't actually seem to make a huge difference.
Oh shit!
Oh no!
Oh shit! It's the woke police.
You didn't even go with PC police.
It's the PC patrol. They're coming to get you, Nick. Sorry.
Okay, well, take me away.
Guilty. Do you want to wrap it up on that hilarious note, or do you want to do some myths? Because I've got 11 of them.
I had one more rec, but that can wait.
Is it Aaron Chen Funny Garden?
It 100% is Aaron Chen Happy Garden.
Knew it. How funny was that?
It was a good show. It was good.
So fucking funny. Go on.
My favorite joke in that is a little bit of prop comedy. Halfway through, he goes to take a drink, and I cackled so fucking hard.
Dude.
So good.
So fucking funny.
Aaron Chen Happy Garden, Netflix. Check it out.
It is honestly really, really good. And I saw Ray O'Leary the other night.
Yeah, live in Melbs.
And we waited around. It was very good, first of all. We waited around like fangirls to get a photo with him. And then we convinced him, and this will tie it all together, we convinced him to do the Manosphere sign. And we took a photo of him. So I'll send that to you. You can put it up in the chapter notes. And I don't think he knew what he was doing, but we just thought it would be really funny. And
why?
What do you mean?
That's ridiculous. Well, because you didn't fucking do it either is the thing in that photo. Everyone else did it, and then you're standing there with your hands by your fucking side.
Well,
like
it was my idea, and then I didn't realize that everyone was going to do it because it was kind of a stupid idea. Anyway, we stuck around. I had a bit of a chat with him. He was quite eager to chat. I asked him what kind of music he listens to.
Oh yeah, what was the answer?
He said like a bit of Motown. He asked me what I listened
to. Motown, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't imagine him strutting down the street listening to some...
I would pay money to watch Ray O'Leary strutting down the street with Motown. That's a fucking commercial. I would buy those AirPods. I'd buy them so quick.
What AirPods?
If Ray O'Leary was in a commercial walking down the street strutting down to Motown... I would buy those AirPods.
Yeah, I wonder how you would do like the silhouette with to convey the tight shirt with that button that's just holding everything together.
Yeah, he's the kind of character. It's like when you get Christopher Walken in the Fatboy Slim video, right? Like he's basically wearing the same grey suit. I would pay money. If I'm Apple, I'd pay him $1 million to get the dance lessons, and then I would get him to do an unexpected breakdance. And then I would sell millions of devices.
Yeah.
That's a free idea, Apple. You can take that. We'll wrap it up there.
All right. Shit. Absolute shit.